The life of Daniel, prophet of faith and courage. Daniel's story begins long before he entered the courts of kings, in the peaceful hills of Judah, a land steeped in history, faith, and devotion to God. Born into a devout Jewish family, Daniel was raised in a household that treasured the teachings of the Lord. Even as a child, he exhibited remarkable wisdom, integrity, and an unwavering reverence for God, a foundation that would guide him through trials no ordinary man could endure. His parents instilled in him the knowledge of God's laws, prayer, and righteousness, and prepared him for the tumultuous events that awaited him in a foreign land. In 605 BC, the young Daniel's life was irrevocably changed when the mighty Babylonian Empire, under King Nebuchadnezzar, conquered Judah. Daniel, along with many of the brightest youths from noble families, was taken as a captive to Babylon. Though a teenager at the time, Daniel faced the shock of displacement, the pain of leaving his homeland, and the challenge of living among people who worshipped false gods. Yet, his faith remained steadfast. Even in captivity, he refused to compromise his devotion to God. In Babylon, Daniel and his friends, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, were chosen to be trained in the king's palace, educated in language, literature, and the ways of Babylonian culture to serve in Nebuchadnezzar's court. Despite being immersed in a foreign culture, Daniel's heart remained loyal to God. When offered the king's rich and unclean food, he chose instead a simple diet of vegetables and water, trusting God to sustain him. In a remarkable turn, not only did he thrive, but he became healthier and wiser than all others in the king's training, a sign of God's favor. Daniel's life was filled with extraordinary visions and prophetic revelations. His ability to interpret dreams set him apart, and soon brought him before King Nebuchadnezzar himself. The king had been troubled by dreams no one could explain, visions of great statues, kingdoms rising and falling, and mysterious signs that no human could decipher. Daniel, through prayer and God's guidance, revealed the meaning of these dreams with astonishing clarity. His interpretations foretold empires, divine judgment, and God's eternal kingdom. Amazed and fearful of such wisdom, Nebuchadnezzar honored Daniel, elevating him to positions of power and authority in the Babylonian Empire. Daniel in the lion's den, faith that defied a kingdom. Daniel had spent decades serving in the royal courts of Babylon, and later under Darius the Mede, after the fall of the Babylonian Empire. His life was marked by integrity, wisdom, and steadfast devotion to God. Time and again, he had proven himself indispensable to the kings he served. Under King Darius, Daniel's brilliance and trustworthiness became so evident that the king decided to appoint him over the entire kingdom, making him the highest-ranking official, above all other satraps and administrators. This unprecedented rise, however, did not sit well with Daniel's colleagues. The other administrators and satraps, consumed by jealousy and resentment, could not find any fault in Daniel's work or character. They could see he was beyond reproach, but they could not accept that a Jewish captive, a servant of God, now outranked them. So, driven by envy, they hatched a cunning and malicious plan to trap him. The conspirators approached King Darius with a seemingly innocent proposal: "O king, live forever. All the administrators of the kingdom, the prefects and satraps, have agreed that the law should be set, that anyone who prays to any god, or human except the king for the next 30 days shall be thrown into the den of lions." Darius, flattered by their words and unaware of their deceitful intentions, signed the decree. In the Persian kingdom, the law of the Medes and Persians was unchangeable once signed. No exceptions could be made, even by the king himself. The conspirators had trapped Daniel in a legal snare from which there would be no earthly escape. When Daniel learned of the decree, he faced a choice. He could obey the law to save his life, or he could remain faithful to God. Daniel chose faith. Day after day, he went into his upstairs room, opened the windows toward Jerusalem, and knelt in prayer, giving thanks to God as he always had. He did not alter his routine, he did not hide, and he did not compromise his devotion. The jealous administrators caught him in the act. They ran to King Darius and accused, "Your Majesty, Daniel continues to pray to his God, in defiance of the law you signed." Darius was deeply distressed. He valued Daniel greatly, and wished he could find a way to save him. The king tried desperately to find a loophole, but the law was absolute. Once the decree was signed, it could not be revoked. With a heavy heart, King Darius gave the order that Daniel be thrown into the den of lions. The conspirators, triumphant, pressed the stone over the den's mouth and sealed it with the king's ring. The seal was meant to ensure that no one could tamper with the lions or the prisoner. That night, Darius could not eat or sleep, tossing and turning, worried about Daniel, whom he deeply respected. Before dawn, the king hurried to the den in the cold morning air. His voice trembled as he called out, "Daniel, servant of the living God, has your God, whom you serve continually, been able to rescue you from the lions?" A tense silence followed. And then, in a moment that would echo through history, a clear and calm voice answered, "O King, live forever. My God sent his angel, and he shut the mouths of the lions. They have not harmed me, because I was found innocent in his sight." Overjoyed, King Darius ordered Daniel to be lifted from the den. Not a scratch marked him, his faithfulness had protected him. In a swift turn of justice, the jealous conspirators, who had plotted against him, were thrown into the den themselves, and the lions immediately overpowered them. King Darius issued a new decree that reverberated across the entire kingdom. "In every part of my kingdom, people must fear and reverence the God of Daniel. For he is the living God, enduring forever, whose kingdom shall never be destroyed, and who rescues and saves his faithful servants." As he served under successive kings, Daniel remained a man of integrity and vision. He witnessed the fall of empires, the rise of new rulers, and countless political intrigues, yet through it all, he never wavered in his devotion. Prophecies flowed through him, foretelling events far beyond his time, including the coming of the Messiah and the ultimate triumph of God's kingdom. Though Scripture does not reveal the details of his later life, or the circumstances of his death, it is clear that Daniel lived a long life, full of divine favor, wisdom, and unwavering faith, leaving a legacy that inspired generations to come. The story of Daniel in the lion's den is more than a tale of miraculous survival. It is a lesson in courage, integrity, and unwavering faith. It shows that no earthly power can thwart the plans of God, and that true devotion is never in vain, even in the face of death. Daniel's courage under trial became a beacon of hope for all generations, a testimony that faith, when lived boldly, can silence envy, overcome danger, and move kings to honor the God who reigns forever.